Tonight on Global TV News Prime, Court of Appeal set aside judgment recognizing Gabam as Social Democratic Party chairman. In business, Treasury bill yields ease ahead of 700 billion naira CBN auction. On the foreign scene, solar eclipse begins across United Kingdom and Europe as millions watch once-in-a-generation event. And in sports, Super Falcons battle South Africa in crucial World Cup battle playoff. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Mukhtar Kasim. A quick reminder, Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, Star Times channel 276, and Free TV. And now the news in details. President Bola Tinubu has urged Nigerians to protect the unity of the country, saying no differences or disagreement should be allowed to destroy the nation. Tinubu, represented by Deputy President of the Senate, Barau Jibrin, spoke at an event in Abuja. The president said the dialogue was important in keeping Nigeria united, while assuring that his administration remains committed to tackling insecurity and promoting peace. The national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Professor Nintawe Yilwada, also warned politicians against using religion and ethnicity to gain political advantage. Yilwada said Nigeria's diversity should unite its people rather than create further divisions. The Court of Appeal in Abuja has set aside a Federal High Court judgment recognizing Shehu Gabam as the national chairman of the Social Democratic Party (SDP), declaring the decision null and void. A three-member panel comprising Justice Fadau Umar, M.S. Hassan, and L.A. Ganiyu held that the basis of the lower court's ruling was faulty and noted that the Supreme Court had earlier ruled in favor of the leadership led by Professor Abubakar Gumbe. SDP presidential candidate and counsel to the appellant, Prince Adewole Adebayo, said the appeal court also affirmed the nomination of Dr. Francis Ajala as the party's governorship candidate for Osun State, expressing confidence that the ruling would bring an end to the prolonged leadership dispute affecting the party. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has called on the Inspector General of Police to arrest Francis Fadawunsi over an alleged inciting statement ahead of Saturday's governorship election. Governor Adeleke made the call in Osogbo, accusing the senator of making a statement capable of inciting violence against members of the Accord Party. Kikelomo Okere has details.
Governor Ademola Adeleke says a viral video allegedly showing Francis Fadawunsi making an inflammatory statement in Elisha amount to incitement to violence. The governor has demanded the immediate arrest of the senator and urged the police to ensure that Accord Party members are not targeted or harassed as the state approaches the governorship election. Adeleke also accused Fadawunsi of strengthening members of the Accord Party and called on the police to act swiftly to prevent further escalation of political tensions. The controversy followed a viral video in which Senator Fadawunsi reacted to reports of killings of 7 APC members in Ijesha axis of the state within 24 hours.
With the viral video of a serving senator, Francis Fadawunsi, who today called for the killing of Accord Party leaders and their families. In the video, the senator even threatened that where they cannot get Accord Party leaders, they should kill their wives and children.
But the APC has rejected the allegations, saying Fadawunsi was reacting to the reported killings and calling for urgent action to restore peace and protect lives ahead of the elections.
Register our protest as APC member to tell our revered Oba Bokun of Ijesaland that to look at what the Accord people are doing to APC members. Between yesterday and today, 7 people were killed by accord talks.
With accusations and counter-accusations intensifying ahead of the election, attention is now on security agencies to prevent political rhetoric from escalating into violence. Kike Lomo Okere, Global TV News.
Meanwhile, Senator Francis Fadahusi, representing Osun East Senatorial District, has honored a police invitation to explain comment in which he allegedly urged All Progressive Congress APC supporters to kill members of the rival Accord Party during the electoral process. Fadahusi arrived at the Osun State Police Command headquarters in Osogbo on Wednesday after the police requested clarification of remarks made while addressing supporters during an APC campaign in Elisha, which later went viral on social media. The senator has since described the comment as metaphorical, saying he was urging his supporters to defeat the Accord Party through lawful and peaceful means, while the police continues investigation into the circumstances surrounding the statement. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has added the Social Democratic Party SDP candidate Francis Ajala and his running mate Faseke Oladipo to the ballot for Saturday's Osun State governorship election, raising the number of participating political parties to 15. The Commission said the decision followed a July 22 judgment of the Federal High Court in Abuja directing it to recognize, accept, process, upload, and publish Ajala's candidacy, with the reproduced ballot paper expected to arrive on Thursday for distribution to local government areas. INEC assured political parties, candidates, and voters of its commitment to conducting a free, fair, and credible election as preparations intensify for Saturday's poll. The Inspector General of Police Olatunji Disu has barred the Western Nigeria Security Network, known as Amotekun, and other quasi-security and private security organizations from participating in the election security duties during Saturday's Osun governorship election. Disu also prohibited armed escorts, security aides, and other unauthorized persons from accompanying political figures or VIPs to polling units and collation centers, warning that ballot snatching, voter intimidation, political thuggery, and other electoral offenses will attract arrest and prosecution. The IGP, meanwhile, deployed Deputy Inspector General of Police Ishaku Mohammed to coordinate the police security operations in the state and work with other agencies under the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security. Away from Osun State, Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak has met with senior Nigerian Army commanders over the deployment of a new battalion to Omuaro, the headquarters of Irepudun local government area of the state. Abdurrazak shared the update on his official Facebook page, saying he received the troops alongside the General Officer commanding 9th Division, Nigerian Army, and Joint Task Force Operation Savannah Shield, Major General Yakubu Yahya, and the Commander 22 Armored Brigade Ilorin, Brigadier General Nicholas Rume. The governor said the new deployment would strengthen security operations in the state, particularly as the government and security agencies intensify efforts to tackle banditry, kidnapping, and other security threats. The Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU at Joseph Sowam Taka University, Makurdi, Benue State, has declared a total and comprehensive strike with immediate effect over outstanding salaries and allowances owed its members. The decision was taken at a congress on Wednesday and announced by the union's chairperson, Tese Abari, who made the call at the meeting. The union said university authorities had only paid 2 of 4 components of the 2025 agreement between the federal government and ASU, while members remain owed consolidated academic tools allowance and professional allowance, with only 39% of the March 2026 allowance reportedly paid. The National Population Commission (NPC) has raised the alarm that only 40% of births in Nigeria are currently registered, despite more than 5 million children being born in the country annually. The Commission made the call in a statement by its spokesperson, speaking at the 2026 registration day, and he said the phenomenon remained a major challenge to Nigeria's efforts to building a comprehensive and reliable national database. Still on the news, the Edo State Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) has raised an alarm over the potential threat of food shortage, warning that farmers have abandoned food production in favor of cannabis cultivation in the state. The Edo State Commander of the NDLEA, Dr. Michelle Ofoyeju, raised the concern at the Edo State Central District Town Hall meeting organized by Senator Joseph Ikbaya at Uromi, Ison, East Local Government Area. Ofoyeju noted that if drastic actions are not taken to address the huge trend that people may experience acute food shortage, as few arable land will be available for farming. Youth from Akwa Ibom State have called on young Nigerians to take advantage of opportunities in the emerging green economy, saying sustainable development can provide jobs, entrepreneurship, opportunities, and new pathways for economic growth. Global TV correspondent Ubong Usoro made the call during an International Youth Day program organized by the Akwa Ibom State community in Abuja to commemorate the global event observed annually on August 12th. The report. The program brought together youth and members of the Akwa Ibom community in Abuja to mark International Youth Day and discuss opportunities available to young people in the green economy. Delivering the keynote address, Global Television environmental correspondent Ubong Usoro urged young Nigerians to look beyond traditional career paths and acquire skills that position them for opportunities in the emerging green economy.
It is International Youth Day. It is celebrated world over as a day where young people sit down to map out the plans they have for their lives for the future, to look at where they are and where they are going to. And in this context, I'm also one of the young persons who have come, so we can look at what are the opportunities available to us and what can we do as we march forward into the future.
The youth leader of the Akwa Ibom community, Comrade Clement, similarly called on young people to embrace opportunities that can improve their livelihoods while contributing to the development of their communities.
Call to the youth to do things that will make our environment friendly, habitable, healthy for us and the generations to come. By that we mean ensure your environment is clean, ensure it is tidy, ensure you don't do things that will affect the climate, and most importantly, don't discard things the way you like, especially non-degradable objects, because they go to wherever they want to stay, they block the drainage system, and this is one of the reasons we are having floods all over the country.
They also called for increased investment in young people, particularly in sectors capable of creating employment while supporting Nigeria's environmental and economic development. Mukhtar Kasim. Meanwhile, every year on August 12th, the world marks International Youth Day, a day dedicated to celebrating young people and drawing attention to the opportunities and challenges shaping their future. It is also an opportunity to hear directly from young people on the issues that matters most to them, from education and employment to technology, entrepreneurship and leadership. Zara Unasil reports.
Marks International Youth Day, attention is drawn to the important role young people play in shaping the future. The day highlights the need to empower youths with opportunities and support to reach their full potential and contribute to national development. From education and technology to entrepreneurship, leadership and innovation, young people remain central to shaping the future of their communities and nations. In Nigeria, where young people make up a significant share of the population, their energy, creativity, and skills are critical to economic growth and national development. But for many young Nigerians, turning potential into progress remains a challenge. With unemployment, rising living costs, limited opportunities, and inadequate access to quality education and skills training continue to weigh heavily.
I think the government should improve in employment. There should be more opportunities for youth to be able to be employed, because most time you go for interview and then they will need someone with 2 or 3 years experience when you're just a fresh graduate.
Nigerian youths are very, very talented. So the biggest challenge most of them are facing, and I'm not saying every single youth, most of them, especially the ones that have something to actually offer, is a listening ear and empowerment. Like, there are a lot of creative people in Nigeria, and that's why Nigerians want to run out of the country, because they value this creativeness. So yes, I feel like they are not properly paid attention to and empowered on those strategic things that they are actually doing.
Young people say greater investment in education, job creation, technology and entrepreneurship is needed to create an environment where they can thrive and contribute meaningfully to the economy.
Well, for me, I would feel as if the challenges facing them most especially is unemployment and idleness. So I believe if the government is able to carry them along, it will crop some of these deficiencies. But most of them are idle and they don't have it. Even with the certificate, there are no jobs.
I think there should be more job opportunities for graduates, and then for upcoming students too. There should be more awareness, and then the government should just try to make the country better. Inflation is too much.
As the world marks International Youth Day, Nigerians are calling for more than recognition. They want opportunities, skills, jobs and meaningful support to build their future and play a greater role in national development. Zahra Unasr, Global TV News.
Nigerian Meteorological Agency NIMET has warned of possible flash floods in 13 states between August 11 and 20, 2026. NIMET issued the warning in an advisory posted on its X handle, listing Sokoto, Zamfara, Kebbi, Niger, Kaduna, Nasarawa, Adamawa, Plateau, Benue, Kogi, Taraba, Cross River, and Akwa Ibom as states at risk. The agency said the outlook was based on forecast rainfall intensity, soil moisture, drainage capacity, terrain, and dam characteristics. It said the advisory was intended to support early preparedness, emergency response, and disaster risk reduction. You're watching the live broadcast of News Prime. News Prime continues after this weather forecast, business, foreign, and sports stories. On the other side of this break, please stay with us.
Hello once more and welcome to the forecast. We observed increase in surface pressures which both hindered and delayed the expected early morning rains of Wednesday. This increase in surface pressure should persist into Thursday, and even though we have prospect of rains over most parts of the country, there should be mostly light rains, except for areas over Bauchi into Jigawa, Kano, parts of Kaduna Plateau, the Federal Capital Territory, Nasarawa, parts of Niger into Kogi, where there are chances of moderate rains. The southwest should be mostly cloudy throughout the forecast period, though with chances of very light rains in 1 or 2 areas, while areas over Zamfara, Sokoto, and Kebbi over the northwest have very slim chance of rains. That's it from here. Thank you for watching.
You're welcome back from that break, and now to business news, where Nigeria's equities market have closed trading session on a bearish note, with the market's capitalization falling by 1.17 trillion naira to 159.26 trillion following sell-offs in MTN Nigeria Communication and 25 other stocks. The all-share index declined by 1,804,000.18 points, representing a 0.73% drop to close at 246,000 to 723.57, while major stocks including the UACN, Dangote Sugar Refinery, Nigeria Aviation Handling Company, and First Holding Co. came under selling pressure. And despite the broad market decline, market's breadth remained positive, with 27 gainers against 26 losers, while trading activity surged as volume rose by more than 270% to 3.91 billion units valued at 32.38 billion naira. Treasury bills yield have also lowered as investors increased demands for short-term government securities ahead of the Central Bank of Nigeria's planned 700 billion naira primary market auction and the release of fresh inflation data. The average Treasury bill yield fell by 3 basic points to 18.09%, with particularly strong demands for the February 2027 maturities, whose yields declined by 24 and 19 basic points respectively. The movement reflects growing investor interest in government securities amidst easing inflation, although the central bank's benchmark interest rate remains elevated at 26.50%, keeping returns on naira-dominated fixed income assets attractive. The Trade Union Congress of Nigeria has backed the ongoing industrial action by aviation workers, warning employers against victimizing workers for exercising their rights to unionize. TUC President Festus Osifo stated this in Abuja while briefing journalists on the state of the nation, declaring that the Congress's full support for the workers' action remain unchanged. Sadia Kubu has details.
The ongoing industrial action by aviation workers involved the Nigerian Labour Congress, the Air Transport Service Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, and the Trade Union Congress, with the unions protesting unresolved issues involving workers, unionization, and the remittance of statutory charges to the aviation regulator. President Trade Union Congress Festus Osifo said the TUC would resist any attempt by employers to deny workers their fundamental right to belong to trade unions or push them for exercising that right. The position came as aviation workers disrupted flight operations at airports in Lagos and Abuja, leaving several passengers stranded. The TUC therefore called on the federal government to intensify effort to tackle insecurity, particularly in farming communities, to enable farmers return to their farms and boost food production.
They have refused members who want to unionize. They have refused the affiliates to organize members in the aviation sector. And any company who does not want members to organize, what you are actually doing is because you know that you are subjecting them to hardship. You know that you are not taking care of their welfare. And you know that you just want to wake up any morning and get them terminated.
On the economy, the Congress acknowledged signs of improvement in the macroeconomic environment, but stressed concern over the broader macroeconomic situation, including the value of the naira and its impact on the cost of living. The labor body also renewed its call for the implementation of state police, urging the National Assembly to fast-track the relevant legislation while advocating greater use of technology in the fight against insecurity. On the energy sector, the TUC opposed the outright sale of government-owned refineries, calling instead for government equity to be retained and the facilities properly managed. The Congress also raised concerns over statutory remittance and workers' welfare, while commending the recent salary increase for military personnel.
The issues of the macroeconomic policies, to a very large extent, it has been stabilized. The issue of inflation, it has been curbed relatively using the figure from MBS. If you look at the issue of the exchange rate, it has relatively stabilized. But this has not dovetailed into the microeconomy.
With the aviation strike already disrupting flights and leaving passengers stranded, the TUC says the federal government must move beyond dialogue and deliver concrete action. Sadia Kubu, Double TV News.
And now to news making rounds on the foreign scene. Pope Leo has expressed solidarity with victims of the devastating earthquake in Colombia, which has killed at least 240 people as rescue and relief operations continue across affected communities. Speaking during his bi-weekly audience at the St. Peter's Basilica, the Pope offered prayers for the families of those who lost their lives and for all those affected by the tragedy. Sam Melody reports.
The earthquake caused buildings and other structures to collapse in several communities, leaving people trapped. Emergency teams, including soldiers, firefighters, medical workers, and volunteers, have been deployed to search for survivors and provide assistance to those affected. Pope Leo, during his message, urged continued support for those affected as authorities and rescue team remain engaged in search and relief effort. The earthquake has left communities facing significant destruction, with concerns mounting over humanitarian needs for survivors. The earthquake has caused widespread destruction, leaving thousands in need of emergency support as authorities assess the extent of damage. Pope Leo XIV says his prayers remain with victims and their families and all those affected, while rescue and relief operation continues across Colombia. Samuel Odi, Global Television News.
Now, a last-minute rush for solar eclipse glasses has taken over parts of London, with huge crowds forming outside shops ahead of a rare partial solar eclipse expected to be visible across the United Kingdom and Europe. Long queues were seen outside the Whitechapel High Street as residents and visitors scrambled to secure protective glasses before the astronomical event. Again, Samuel Odi tells us more.
The strong public interest has led to a surge in demand for eclipse viewing equipment across the capital. Partly solar eclipse is expected to be visible across the United Kingdom, with London set to experience about 90% coverage of the sun at the peak of the event. The phenomenon occurs when the moon passes between the Earth and the sun, blocking part of the sun's light from reaching the Earth. Astronomy enthusiasts and members of the public are preparing to witness the event, with experts urging people to use certified solar viewing glasses rather than ordinary sunglasses or other improvised materials. The eclipse is expected to create a striking daytime spectacular as the moon gradually moves across the face of the sun before the sun becomes visible again. With excitement building across London, the rush for eclipse glasses highlights the public fascination with one of nature's most spectacular astronomical events. For those hoping to watch the eclipse, safety remains paramount as the events unfold. Samuel Odi, Global Television News.
To sports, Nigeria Super Falcons will face arch-rival South Africa on Thursday in Casablanca for a place in the Inter-Confederation Playoff Tournament and another opportunity to qualify for the 2026-27 FIFA Women's World Cup after their quarter-final exit from the African Cup of Nations. The encounter at the Moulay Rashid Stadium comes just a year after Nigeria defeated Bayana 2-1 in the WAFCON semi-finals at the same city, although South Africa have recorded victories over the Super Falcons in 3 previous editions of the competition, with both teams now seeking to advance through the continental playoff route to the World Cup. The highly anticipated clash is scheduled for 9 p.m. Nigerian time and is expected to renew one of African women's football fiercest rivalries. As Global TV News Prime comes to an end, here is a recap of our top stories. We brought you that the Court of Appeal in Abuja has set aside a Federal High Court judgment recognizing Shehu Gabam as the national chairman of the Social Democratic Party, declaring the decision null and void. In business, Treasury bills yield have edged lower as investors increase demands for short-term government securities ahead of the Central Bank of Nigeria's planned 700 billion naira primary market auction and the release of fresh inflation data. On the foreign scene, you had a last-minute rush for solar eclipse glasses have taken over parts of London, with huge crowds forming outside shops ahead of a rare partial solar eclipse expected to be visible across the United Kingdom. And in sports, we brought you that Nigeria Super Falcons will face arch-rival South Africa on Thursday in Casablanca for a place in the Inter-Confederation Playoff Tournament and another opportunity to qualify for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup. And that's it on News Prime. Here's a quick reminder: Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, Star Times channel 276, and Free TV. Kindly follow us across all our social media platforms now displaying on your screen by using Global TV NG. My name is Mukhtar Kasim. Saying a very big thank you for watching.